Hello, this is Lynn Matajan from Matajan's Herbals. Today is Wednesday, and we are going to, at the end of today's presentation, we're going to untie our fourth knot, and I'm taking Friday and Saturday off from the shop. This is our annual camping trip with my kids and their kids, and so I thought today would be a good time to review my first aid kit and make sure that I have everything that I need. So you get to review it with me and give me some thoughts, what you think, and we'll make adjustments as needed. I already know there's a couple of things in here that I need to add, and so we'll talk about those too. So I've got my first aid kit in two different bins. One is medicine, and the other are tools and bandages and things of that nature. So if we take the lids off, I think what we'll do is go through the tools first. Now, right off the top, I have a bunch of gloves. These are not sterile gloves, but they're a whole lot cleaner than my hands will be if I'm out in the woods. And so we've got those. I carry tea bags. These are giant tea bags, and these are in here so that I can make poultices if I need. On top of that, I've got a tea ball so that I can make the, if I decide to use a wash, I can use this with the herbs, or I can use this to soak the herbs and then put them in the tea bag if I want to do it that way as well. I've got Band-Aids. I have got rolled gauze, and down here in the bottom I also have gauze pads. I've got 4x4s. Now these gauze pads are 2x2s, and there is some tape in here as well. So we're set pretty well for bandages. I have got alcohol swabs, and I've also got a little bottle of alcohol in here. These are so that we can clean everything up. I have got hand sanitizer, again for cleaning. I've got these wonderful little wraps. Now these actually are for animals, but they work just as well on people, and you don't need to have a clip. So you can use this in place of an ace bandage. You can use it to keep a gauze pad on, and it doesn't have to go anywhere. So those are really good. Now, I also have an instant ice compress, because I'm not always in a place where I've got ice. Even here in my house, I don't always have ice. I've got a box of matches in the event I need to sterilize anything. I've got a manicure kit in here, so it's got tweezers, and it has got a little pair of scissors, and then I've got a bigger pair of scissors in here as well. And that way I'm covered for that. So here's my bigger scissors. I've got more tape. I've got an astronaut blanket for in the event of shock, or if we need to get them somebody off the ground and into a little bit of a cleaner area. And the funniest thing that I've got in here is some maxi pads. Here are my 4-inch square gauze. Now the maxi pads, and I'm probably going to put some tampons in here too, have nothing to do with menstruating. What it has to do with is if there's a lot of blood, these are absorbent. If there is a puncture wound, a tampon will fit right inside and will stop the bleeding. And the pads will do the same thing. So they're there for just in case. Hopefully we're not going to need anything this weekend, but those are the tools that I have so that I can make poultices, I can make washes, and I can bandage people up. Now the one notable thing that I'm missing in here are the triangular bandages that are like 40 by 56. They're the ones that you can make a sling out of, or you can make a tourniquet out of, and those are being delivered to my shop tomorrow, so they'll be put in before I leave for camping. It is what I looked at when I decided what I was going to put in here is what kind of accidents do you typically have when you're camping? What kind of first aid needs would you have? Well, you've got things like poison oak and poison ivy. You've got things like bee stings, falling down and having a big abrasion on some portion of your body, twisting a joint, your knee, your ankle, and then the regular things like headaches, constipation, diarrhea, nausea. If you get scraped, do you have an antibiotic or an antibiotic wash to use? So this is where the herbs come in. Now, for the ones that I have capsules, I just put them in a little bag, because obviously if we need a whole lot of medicine, we're not going to stay. So we don't have to have a week's worth of medicine. So I have garlic and I have oil of oregano. Both of these are really good antibiotics. So if somebody gets injured with a scrape or impaled by a branch or something, I would immediately start them, obviously clean out the wound and dress the wound, but then start them on an antibiotic to make sure that it does not get infected. Now, I also have in here ginger for nausea. I have skullcap, and I have turmeric. Now, I have to add the turmeric because I didn't have very much here at home. And the turmeric is an anti-inflammatory if somebody wrenches their knee or their shoulder, or if they have a sprained ankle. And I have skullcap if somebody gets hurt, or if we go hiking and somebody wasn't prepared to go hiking and they're very sore. This is a muscle relaxer and help with that. So those are the capsules that I have in here. Now most of these jars are half pints. And again, that's a lot of herb. And I could have gone with a quarter pint and probably had plenty in my kit for first aid, because again, if it's bad, we're going to leave and go home and either get him to the doctor or at the very least get him in a cleaner spot. This is Lipton tea. For most of you who know me, I don't drink black tea, mostly because it doesn't work in my body. It upsets my body no end. But I also, because it upsets my body no end, I don't like the taste. But I always have Lipton tea in any of my first aid kits, because it is an amazing, I have a hard time with this word, drawing agent. So DRAWING. If you get a bee sting, make a cup of Lipton tea, throw away the tea, take the tea bag, and put it as a poultice on the bee sting, and it will draw the venom out. It will draw out, if you have a spider bite, it'll draw the venom out. It will help draw out infection as well. And the funniest thing is, if you have stinky feet, and if you put soak your feet in Lipton tea, it will close some of the pores in your feet, and your feet won't smell so stinky anymore. I learned that because of Dr. Oz and my sister. So I have arnica in there. Again, if arnica is for muscle strains, and it would be used as a poultice. If you wanted to go to like a GNC or someplace like that and get homeopathics, Arnica montana, you can take under your tongue sublingually, and that will help as well. There's comfrey in here, and I'm not sure where it is, but putting the comfrey and the arnica together will make a really nice strong compress. So I have meadowsweet in here. Now meadowsweet is salicylic acid. So I've got meadowsweet, and the other one that I've got in here is white willow bark, which is also salicylic acid, and that's aspirin. So if you do something that you need an aspirin, you would take the salicylic acid. So the meadowsweet and the white willow, you drink it as a tea for that. The only, well, not the only, but one of the few items that I have in here that isn't herbal is ibuprofen. And that's for somebody who just really isn't quite sure that they want to have herbs in their body, but they would rather go with something that they are familiar with. It's a very small bottle because anybody that's part of my family would take the herbs. So I also have white willow in capsule form, so if they don't want to have a tea, they can take it just like they would take the ibuprofen. I have chamomile in there for a couple reasons. Chamomile is an antispasmodic, so if you have been hiking and you overhiked, if you strain a muscle, the chamomile will help the muscles heal a little bit faster. It also will help you go to sleep, so if you're out in the middle of the woods and you can't hear the sirens and the cars that you're used to, that will help you relax. Now there's the comfrey that goes with the arnica. Now both arnica and comfrey are not intended to be taken internally. It is only used as a poultice. I have a jar of aloe. So if we're lucky and the sun keeps shining this weekend, if somebody gets sunburned, we've got the aloe, and that's going to help them feel a whole lot better. Now I've got cayenne in here. And it's not that I'm particularly thinking about making dinner, but cayenne will stop bleeding very quickly. So if you end up with a pretty big gash, put the cayenne on it, and it'll stop the bleeding. Now, to be totally honest with you, I do not know if that will sting or not. But if you're in danger of losing a whole lot of blood, a little sting, you're probably already stinging, and so that's not a bad thing. Okay, so I also have skullcap in herbs. So we had it in the capsules, but I have it in the herbs because, again, it's a muscle relaxant, it's an anti-anxiety, and it makes a good cup of tea. I have peppermint for upset stomachs. In the event you decide to have something for dinner that maybe you shouldn't have. And it is, and this you would make in a cup of tea. So, and I've got senna. Senna is if you are constipated. And I can think of nothing worse than being out in the middle of the woods and constipated. Conversely, being out in the middle of the woods and not being constipated, but having diarrhea would be a bad thing too. And blackberry leaf would work for that. And I need to get another little jar to put some blackberry leaves in here as well. This is the white willow that is not in capsules. I think that it is a little bit bitter, and one of the things that I don't have in here is honey, and so it might be easier to take the capsules if you don't drink bitter. We've got lavender. Lavender will help you relax. It also is an antiseptic, so if you have something that you can make a wash out of this and wash an abrasion, and that will make your make it a little bit cleaner. Okay, I've got plantain. Plantain will help stop bleeding. It is let's see. You can use it dried or fresh if you recognize it. It is, it's also good for poison ivy or poison oak, so make it a wash and wash the area that you have exposed to the poison oak or poison ivy. And it also helps relieve the pain of insect bites. Most of the time you'll use it as either a poultice or a wash. Now, I've also got apple cider vinegar, because the other thing that can happen when you're out camping is if you have a fire somebody can get burned. And apple cider vinegar, hands down, is the best thing to use for a burn. Some years ago, I ended up scalding my hand with boiling syrup. Not one of my better moments. So what my daughter did was she went and got a potato, cut the potato, and the compounds of the potato started drawing the hurt out. And after I held the potato for about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, then I soaked my hand in a bowl of apple cider vinegar. Now, I will tell you, I woke up the next morning, so I soaked it for about a half an hour, and then I wrapped it in gauze that had been soaked in apple cider vinegar, and then put a glove over it. When I woke up in the morning, I had a very tiny, I mean, about 1/10 of a dime size of skin that was a little red. And that was from pouring boiling syrup over my hands. So that was not good. The other two items that I have that are commercially prepared is a bottle of isopropyl alcohol for sterilization and a bottle of calamine lotion for itches and if you get, have a problem with that. Now I also have two herbs. I have rosemary and I have sage. Now those are in here because if you are in an area where we're going to be over the weekend that has a lot of mosquitoes, if you burn rosemary and or sage in the fire, it will help keep the mosquitoes away. And that is a really good idea for me. Now, if you didn't do it fast enough and you end up with some mosquito bites, this is tea tree ointment. That's made, I make this. I have it in the shop. And if you put tea tree ointment on a mosquito bite or any other kind of bite that you get, it will reduce the swelling and it will take the itch away. And it also, tea tree ointment is very similar to an herbal neosporin. So if you have gotten a scrape and you've cleaned it, putting this on will help it heal and will inhibit the growth of bacteria so it won't get infected. I also have the tendon and tunnel, which is a joint relief and muscle relief. And I am out of arnica and comfrey in this format. Otherwise, that would be in here, and it will be in there before we leave. The last one I have in here is headache. Oh, my aching head. So this is what we're taking. These, once they go into my car, they will be in my car forever, and brought in at the end of camping or hiking or whatever it is that we're doing, so that I can refill if we need to do any refilling. Hopefully I will come home from this camping trip and I will be able to report to you that I did not have to refill because we didn't use anything. That would be the greatest thing for me to do, I think. So we're putting everything back and we're going to hope it all fits, and I'm not quite sure that it's going to. Okay, so most everything is fitting. The one that is going to be a problem is the isopropyl alcohol, and I have no trouble putting that in with the tools because that's actually what it is rather than medicine. So there it goes inside, and that's what I've got. So let me know if you think I missed anything. And I'm planning on having a really good time up in Oso where we go camping. So next on the agenda is the fourth knot. So first of all, we have to determine, okay, which one of these is the fourth knot? So what we're going to do is you find where the first knot was, and you find where the ninth knot was, or actually it's the second knot, but the other end. So we've already untied the first and the second knot, which is right here. And then last night, right down the center, we untied the third knot. So we're going for the fourth knot, and that would be the one that is halfway between the third and the first knot. So if you take where the first knot was and where the third knot was, the one that is right down here at the center, that is the fourth knot. And so this is the one that we're going to untie today. Thank you for joining me with this knot magic. I think that the more people that send out health and love and prosperity and abundance, the better we're going to get, the faster we're going to get. So thank you so very much for doing this with me. It is, so what we're going to do is, if you have knots, put your fingers on the fourth knot. If you don't have knots, put your hands up, palms up, so that we can bring in the energy and send it out a little bit in just a few minutes. So I always like to start this with relaxing, because I'm not always relaxed. So we're going to do that by taking 3 deep breaths, holding them and letting them out. So take a deep breath. Hold it and let it go. And again, take a deep breath. Hold it and let it go. And a third time. Deep breath. Hold it and let it go. Drop your shoulders. Make sure your legs and your feet and your arms don't have any crossed joints, so that the energy flows firmly all and well through your body. Okay, so now reach out for the pink energy. The pink energy is for love. Bring that pink energy into your heart and let it sit there for a minute. That's wonderful, loving energy that we are taking from the universe to show us love. And now reach out for the blue energy. Bring that blue energy into your heart. That's healing energy that the universe is giving us. And let the blue and the pink swirl together. And now reach out for the green energy, abundance and prosperity. Bring that energy into your heart and let it swirl with the pink and the blue. If you're old enough, visualize a lava lamp and the colors all working together and swirling together. Feel this energy, this universal energy, healing you and making you feel better. Because the better you feel, the more you're going to smile. And even with a mask on, if you're smiling, you can see it in your eyes, and you can make other people feel better by paying that smile forward. Now, take this energy and push it down through your arms into your hands. If you have a knot, hold your knot so that the energy moves into the knot. If you are having your hands, turn your hands outwards now, so that instead of sending the energy up, we're sending the energy out. The energy is being made available to Mother Earth and to all of her inhabitants. So everybody that is willing to accept healing energy is receiving this from the universe through us. feel the cord and feel your hands vibrate with that loving energy. And now send it out. As you untie your knot, repeat after me. By knot of 4, this power I store. That knot was a little bit tighter than the other ones. There we go. We've released that energy to everybody who will accept it. So repeat after me. Lord and Lady, hear our plea. Bless this earth and all who dwell. Keep us happy, prosperous, and well. This is what we ask of thee. As we will, so mote it be. Thank you very much for joining me in this number 4 knot. Tomorrow's knot, number 5, I'm going to be doing from Oso out in the woods. I think that it should be on time, but I'm going to be at the shop until 5 tomorrow, and then hopping in the car and driving up to Oso. So if I'm a few minutes late, please bear with me. It will be done. And thank you so very much. Blessings to all of you, and blessed be.